Finalists first, are you ready for the hard questions?
Of course.
Yes. Good stuff. I'm very interested to understand, first of all, how you guys organize your daily lives. This is also quite interesting in the context of COVID. That is my only questions related to COVID. We talk about COVID much too much, but I'd be really interested to understand how you guys, entrepreneurs, deal with your day-to-day activity. Preeyam, you are also still today involved in your family business, apart, or I'd say on top of your ventures. Do you recognize these comments from Preeyam?
Yes, so I would say I work with my mom and my dad. With my dad, I work in the family business, which is I head the plastics vertical, which is one of our legacy verticals, besides my project, which is Embracing Green. I, even though it is a manufacturing setup, which means that your factory is open, people do need to go into work physically to, make those products. But, we put in a lot of safety protocol in place, which means like many more shifts so that there is social distancing, and also like a lot of hand washing practices and all of that at the plant. In terms of, I work with my mom as well on a bunch of social enterprises. These are more like sort of passionate, hard-driven ventures started by my mom, and I joined her in them. One of that is a mental health care clinic called Caring Minds. And the other one is a cafe, which I co-founded with my mom. It's called Cafe I Can Fly. And it's a cafe which is run by special needs individuals. So, I would say working with mom on these ventures, these are things, because it's not a manufacturing setup, this is stuff which we can still do online. Like we have like online counseling sessions going on at Caring Minds, or say for the cafe as well. Earlier, it was more of an experiential cafe because it's a cafe run by special needs. But during the COVID times, we've seen that there's a lot of focus now on takeaways and delivery. So we've got to change our business model, which we've done, and it's been an interesting learning. And even with Patton, even though it's a traditional family business, I feel that thanks to COVID, actually, that everyone has gotten abreast with technology, and we're all using Zoom and so many more technology tools to communicate with each other on a daily basis. And I do feel it's very productive, doing these meetings online.
Fantastic. Yeah, thank you, Preeyam. Interestingly enough, we can, and as I was saying in introduction, we can see there's a common lining also with all of your influence from the family business. Some of you are still active in your family business, some are not, but there's been a very strong influence of the family business. I was interested in asking you, do you feel it is easier or more difficult to be an entrepreneur when you come from a family that has an established business, from which you are representatives of the second, third, fourth, fifth generation of the family? Maybe Preeyam, let's start with you.
I would say it's actually a blend of both. It would be easier because you do have access to a already established network and resources that your family has built up brick by brick over the years. And at the same time, you do have access to the logistical, infrastructural support of the family, and also their experience and wisdom over the years. So for these reasons, I feel it's easier. And, if you do come from a family business, you do also have that leeway to pursue something of your own, because you do have something to fall back on. So therefore, it's easier. But I would say it could be tougher as well, tougher, because there is a burden of expectations. If you're somebody who is ambitious and, you could just feel that it could be hard to sort of be recognized for your own merit, to carve out your own niche and your own identity, because you could be compared to other leaders in the family business. So it's actually a blend of both, personally, for me.
Very interesting. And it's interesting, Preeyam, you talk about influence and wisdom, and talking about wisdom and inspirational figures. What is maybe the one thing you would have been interested to know before you started your venture? And that can come from any type of inspirational figure. Preeyam, from your perspective?
I feel for me, it's not about the what, actually, it's more the when, because I wish I had, realized the severity of the water crisis much earlier on. So I started acting upon it. I only started on this 4 years ago. But I knew it much earlier. If I was aware of it much earlier, maybe I had taken more proactive solutions much earlier on and done so much more, because every drop counts. So I would say it's that. But if I had to really think hard and deep about the what, the one thing that I realized in my journey in these 4 years is that when I started to speak to, international aid organizations like the UNICEF, etc., I realized that maybe in some of my earlier projects, I wish I had documented them much better, because, as an entrepreneur, you're just so busy, getting on with, doing the work in the field, that I realized that I didn't have like these geotagged images and like more video footage of the installations we had done at the rainwater harvesting site. So I wish I had documented stuff better.
Very interesting. It's also about how do you change mentalities here, and how do you showcase your venture and the impact that it can have. Very interesting. Coming back to the family business aspect, I had and this is maybe a bit of a follow-on question, but I would actually be really interested to know what you wanted to be when you were a kid. And it might seem like a naive and stupid question, but actually what I'm leading on to is to understand, when you were a child, did you perceive as having a place at the table in the family business, or did the entrepreneur fiber, or was it already in you? Preeyam.
So this is interesting, because when if I really like think back when I was a kid, and I think of my slam book days, I remember writing that I wish I was a model or an actress. That's because, given the limited exposure we had to television, I always fancied the way models and actresses spoke and looked, and they always had like a presence in the room. And I always fancied that when I walk into a room, and I've actually met some of these actresses with my dad at, various events. So just the kind of energy they have, and then, it's like the kind of attention they draw when they walk in. So I always had that thing of, presenting myself well. So that's what it was when I was a kid. And I think when I went to higher school, it graduated to something when I had a mind of my own. So I wanted to actually be a teacher, completely different. But I feel I really view myself as a lifelong student, and this whole process of teaching and learning, it's something which I really believe in, and also teaching, because I feel like today I'm not a teacher, but I do play the role of a teacher in terms of a teacher, someone who empowers other people. So be it in my family business or be it the ventures I do with my mom, I am trying to do my bit in empowering the people I work with, which is my team, and also empowering the communities I work with. So I feel I do play the role of a teacher in that way. And when I grew up even more and went to college, I feel that I wanted to be a businesswoman, probably because my family, I've seen that in my family, my grandfather and my father. So yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. So Mira, Dominique, I think we're completely out of time, but I have one more questions for our finalist, if you allow me, and we'll let me just give me another couple of minutes, because and Merad, you showed the polling before. We have quite a few next gens in the audience. What is the one recommendation you would give to a next gen who would be tempted by this entrepreneurial adventure? Keep it to 20 seconds each.
I think if I had to give a recommendation to someone who was interested to join my entrepreneurial adventure of what I'm doing, I would probably say that if you only care about sort of the commercial aspect of it, then this is not for you, because I feel my venture is a lot about social impact. It is business, but it is definitely a lot about social impact. So it's a judicious balance between both.
Understood. Thank you. Thank you very much for answering these questions. I think it's really interesting to hear you off script, because we can get a bit more of a feeling of you guys. So thanks a lot for playing along with me. Very much appreciated.